What's going on? I guess we're live. I don't know. We're having some error messages on our thing. So, welcome to Where There's Wheels.
There's a play.
I'm Ian, your Make a Casual Gamer.
I'm Stacey. I'm your non-gamer gamer.
Gotta love technology. I don't know what happened. Yeah, it said we couldn't go live, and then it wasn't showing up, and then it said we had duplicate things. So I'm not sure what happened, but it doesn't look like anybody was here to see it anyway. So
Good.
all right. So live, live.
We don't have very good live events.
Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. They're just that was just a little goofy. Okay, so anyway, this is our month in review for the month of February 2025. Our theme was cozy day in because here in Colorado it gets pretty cold in February, so we felt we would like to do a theme that was things that you want to do on a cozy day, like cuddle up in a blanket and read a book and some different things. So we're going to get to some stats here. And, oh, these look like your stats first. So these are your stats. Oh, wait, no, they're jumping back and forth. Hold on.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, they're jumping back. There we go. I forgot to pause it. Okay, so it's one of those days. I totally spaced out that today was the first Monday of the month until yesterday. So I was trying to get this together. I mean, February, time is crazy. February went by. I can't believe that it's March already, but at the same time, I can't believe that Global Play Day was a month ago tomorrow, and it feels like it was forever ago. So anyway, my stats for the month is I played 28 games, a total of 60 times on the tabletop. I had 12 new to me games,
Wow.
And my H index was 4.
I had 28 plays with 13 games, 6 new games. For me, that's pretty good for a month.
Yeah.
And my H index is a 3.
All right.
Which means I played 3 games 3 times.
Yes. So, all right, let's get on to it. So the first game I'll talk about is called 5 Minute Dungeon. Like I said, Global Play Day was in February. It takes place the first Wednesday of every February. And this is just a time to get kids off of screens, get them to be playing with just stuff that is not electronics. And so at our school, we pretty much celebrate all day and we rotate kids around to all of our different groups. And so some kids bring in board games, and this is one that was new to me. This is called 5 Minute Dungeon. Basically, what is each person has a different character with a different deck of cards. You are trying to fight your way through this dungeon by playing different cards of different abilities on them. Each character also has a special ability you can use for yourself, and you are trying to match your symbol on your card with the symbol on each one of the things you need to get through in the deck of cards before you get to the final boss. You have 5 minutes to do this. It's a cooperative game. It is a fast-paced, real-time game. Lots of communication. It was a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed playing this one. This is one I would like to play again. This is 5 Minute Dungeon. The next game was Blob Party. I'm pretty sure I played this one at school. This is a fun party game where you have each person has a blob of Play-Doh, and you have a category and a word, and you're trying to come up with a word that goes with both of those. Now, Stacy and I played this. We are working on a 2-player variant of this that we hope to, have out on Board Game Geek at some time in the next couple months. We're working on a 2-player variant of this that kind of takes some aspects of some other party word games where you can play 2 players. We got some good ideas for it. So Stacy did get to play this one for the first time. So what'd you think about this one?
Liked it.
I've played it quite a bit at my board game club. So
I love the smell of Play-Doh.
But yeah, so that is Blob Party, fun word party game. Next is Calico.
Calico, you are drafting tiles to put onto your board to attract the most cats to your blanket while fulfilling the cards up above for their quests type of things to get points at the end. I like Calico. I can't remember the name of the cat that I like the best, but I don't
If you
either.
got lots of cats in it, lots of different things. Yep,
But
you're
there's
trying to,
one.
yeah, you're trying to attract cats and trying to get buttons and
Yep.
matching patterns, matching colors, trying to get special bonus ones. Yeah, this one was one of the ones that's on our wall because
Yeah.
on a cozy day in, you want to cover up with a nice quilt and
Have your kitty cat
have your
cuddle.
kitty
If
cat
you have
cuddle.
one. We don't have one.
I personally don't. Last I knew I was still allergic to cats, so
We'll have to
I
give them
I
that a
I love
whirl.
cats, but I'm you know not risk it.
For the biscuit.
Next is Carcassonne. Carcassonne is a tile laying game where you're working on a shared grid and you are taking a tile face down so you don't know what it is and you're placing it into the grid, matching up sides that are the same, and then placing meeples on to claim roads or monasteries or fields or cities. And when you close those off, when you close a city off, you score points. If you close both sides of a road off, you score points. If you completely surround a monastery, you score points. This is the one that my board game club, I wanted to teach some kids one day, and so they some kids who had just joined learned this one, and some other kids learned it. So that is Carcassonne. This is a classic tile laying game at this point. Next one, another game from my board game club at school. This is Catan Junior. In Catan Junior, you are placing your layers and your pirate ships on a map, and then when you roll a dice and you're collecting resources, if you have layers next to the different islands on the map, and however many you have near it, you can collect that many of that resources. You're using those resources to turn into more layers and pirate ships, and also little tiles that have a parrot on one side and gives you bonuses on the other. And it is the first person to get rid of all of their layers and replace all of their layers. I think it is. I don't know if you have to place all your ships. I can't remember, but I know it is place all your layers wins the game. Had some kids at Board Game Club that wanted to learn this one as well. We're closing in on the end of Board Game Club for the year in about a month or so, month and a half.
Wow.
Once CMAS is over, well, mid-April.
Holy moly.
Yeah, mid-April. So a couple kids, I challenged them a couple weeks ago. We had 8 weeks left of Board Game Club. I challenged every kid. I said, I want you to learn 4 new games before the end of Board Game Club. So 1 new game every 2 weeks at least. Because we have some kids that they come in and they play the same game every time. And I'm like, guys, you gotta learn some more games. So this was not from them. This was some other. This was a set of girls who wanted to learn it, and I'm like, yeah, I would love to teach it for you. And I didn't play it for a while, so that is Catan Junior. I really like this game. It's just a quick, fun one at school. Next is Codenames. Another one at school. Played a lot at school. This one is the regular Codenames.
Oh.
We own Codenames Duet, which we enjoy playing. We are horrible at it. And we've never played any of the scenarios because we know we would never be able to do them. This is Codenames. This was on Global Play Day again. A kid brought it in. And this one, you are playing as a team, and you're playing against another team. And so what you're doing is you have a shared group of agents or words, and you are trying to give clues to your partner to find your agents, and the other person is trying to give words to their partner to find their agents, and it's whoever finds all their agents wins first. Very similar to Codenames Duet, which we have, but you're playing on teams instead of giving clues back and forth. So that is Codenames. And when you're giving clues, you're trying to do a clue so that they can find more than one thing. So you might say blue 3, which means there's 3 words out there that you represent with the word blue that go with, and there's 3 of them. So then they try to find the 3. And yeah, so that is Codenames. Again, like I said, Codenames Duet, we are horrible at, but we still enjoy playing. We giggle every time. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. But
I think we've only won like once.
no, we've done it quite a bit.
Companion Quest. That's one of my new favorite games, actually. Companion Quest actually comes to Kickstarter tomorrow.
The link is in the description of the video.
Yes, it is. Companion Quest. Ugu? Is that his name? Ugu? Boogu.
I don't remember.
Stugoo, Boogoo,
No.
Boogoo. Anyway, there's a guy who's trying to run terror.
Goo Goo.
Goo Goo.
Goo Goo.
He's trying to run terror through the community, and you have to work together to stop him by placing your meeples on the board, drawing cards, figuring
Your dice.
placing your
Dice.
yes, your dice, and your meeple is at the top. And if he catches Goo Goo, then you win. If Goo Goo gets to the end of the track before you catch him, then you lose. And this is actually a really fun game. You have your sets of gnomes that you are, and their little buddies that work together to get
They're companions.
their hence companions nest. The companions are working together to stop Goo Goo from ripping more terror through the community. So I highly recommend you to check this out on
Kickstarter
Kickstarter tomorrow. It goes live. So we highly recommend that one. It's a fun game to play. I know I didn't do my best at describing it just now, but I don't do well with that anyway.
Yeah. So basically, it's a dice worker placement game. Hey, Paul, thanks for joining us. Glad you enjoyed the playthrough of this. Yes. So, yes, we do have a playthrough and an initial impressions on the channel of this. I'm guessing they're going to be on the Kickstarter page. So you're taking dice and you're rolling them and you're placing them to stop some challenges that you have to do, and also to move along different paths, different quests. You have a starter companion. You can gain more companions that give you some abilities. You get some really cool comboing going on if you do different things. This is a fun one. We are definitely going to be keeping our eye on this one and seeing what they're going to add in the campaign. I'm really hoping this one fulfills. This is probably going to be one that we.
I will buy this.
I think this is going to be one that we will definitely back tomorrow. Probably right away.
I have an idea.
What?
I love when I get ideas. It could be my first Kickstarter that I back.
Oh, it could be. All right, so that is Companion Quest. Check out the playthrough and the initial impressions on our channel, and check out the Kickstarter tomorrow. It's a really fun game. Next is Creature Comforts.
We just played this one the other day.
Like last weekend.
Yeah. So Creature Comforts is a what is it called?
Dice and worker placement.
Worker placement where you each are building comforts for your house, and you're collecting sets and you're fulfilling cards to I am terrible at describing games. This is hard work. To basically get the most.
It shows that non-gamers can have fun playing games even if they can't describe them.
Yeah. So I like this game. I like to beat Ian. That's usually my goal. And I like to place my little. I like to be the raccoon. And I like to place my people.
Yeah. So this one has a really cool dice mechanic that we really like, where you have two house dice or family dice that you roll. Once you roll those, you place your four workers, your four meeples, animal meeples, out on the board to the places that you are hoping to get either the resources or the upgrades or the comforts or a couple other things that you might be getting. Then you roll the four, whoever's turn it is rolls the four village dice. The four village dice everybody uses. So then those numbers everybody uses. So you may be hoping you're getting something and the numbers don't come based on the two dice you have. I'm like, okay, there's got to be a dice that comes up that will help me with this one.
Yep.
And a lot of times it doesn't. So then what happens, I really like, you get, if you can't fulfill something, you get what is called a lesson learned, which allows you to increase or decrease the value of a dice on a future turn. So I do like that aspect of it too. It's a really fun game. There's a lot of spaces you can go, but it is a pretty cozy game overall.
The thing I do like about this game is that the seasons change. And so with each season, items become available or unavailable. Yes. So you kind of have to stock up for the cards that you're going to be drawing to fulfill So if you're trying to make what they call a muffler, I call it a scarf. But if you're trying to fulfill a muffler, you'll need some yarn. You'll need I can't remember what all goes into the muffler, but the yarn's only available for a couple months, and so then that goes away. So if the muffler comes up a couple months later, you still have to be able to fulfill it. So you're still going to need to collect those items along the way. So that's my favorite thing about that game.
Yeah, so you're going through spring, summer, and fall to get ready for winter. Each season, so spring and summer have 3 rounds, fall has 2 rounds. Each season, though, a different thing is unavailable. One of them is mushrooms are unavailable one season. Wheat is unavailable one season, and yarn is yarn or wool is unavailable one season. So it is kind of like, okay, I need this. Oh, that's not coming up, so I better try and get it right now. So yeah, this is one of our favorite games that we played. This was, speaking of Kickstarter, this was our first Kickstarter.
Oh,
so
was it really?
It really was.
No,
it
say
was
ours, because
well, it was my first Kickstarter.
Kickstarter was.
Yep, this came across my Facebook feed. So that is Creature Comforts. That's another one that was on our wall for the month. Moving on to our next game, and this is Don't Go In There. Ooh, this was a fun push your luck game. We have an initial impressions for this. Yeah, a little push your luck, trying to go into a haunted house and
with the really cool box that
with
you
a really cool
drop
box.
your dice into.
Yeah, the box is the dice tower.
And then you put your little characters going down the steps. The further you go down into the steps, the more dice.
The further you go into the room, the more chance you have of getting haunted.
Yes.
Each room has 3 cursed cards. You play with the different sets of cursed cards. Every game you take some out, which I really like because you don't know exactly which ones are in there. They synergize differently. So some of you may like, oh, as soon as you get 2 of this cursed card, you get to eliminate something. As soon as you get 3 of this, you get to eliminate all those. So getting those together, the twin card, when you get the identical twins, you get to eliminate both of them. Each cursed card has a certain number of points, and you don't want to be cursed at the end. And whoever has the most ghost also has to add more curse points to their end, so you don't want to get ghost. Each curse card has 1 or 2 dice on them, and that's how many dice you roll when the third person goes into a room. The further you go in, the more likely you are to get more ghosts. The further out and the safer you are, you can eliminate some ghosts because you have flashlights, so you're scaring the ghosts away, I guess. So it's a really fun push your luck element in a lot of different ways. How far into the room you're going, but also which curse cards are you gonna try and get so you can make those sets, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah,
and it has a really cool box.
Yeah, the dice tower box is really cool, and it all stores right in it, so that's really nice. Paul's telling you to do it for Kickstarter.
See, now I have to if Paul says so. So I'm on it. Okay. That's gonna be my first Kickstarter. I'm gonna click the little button on
we can
there.
do it on my account too, so that it goes with all my tracking.
And I'm not doing it.
All right, next game is Donut Shop.
Oh my gosh, I just played this one too.
We played this last. We did a live stream. We did this one live.
We did that one live. So make sure you check that out. Donut Shop. You are a worker in a donut shop, and you are trying to make the donuts to put into the display case. And then once you sell the donuts, you are trying to box them up. You can box anywhere from 4 donuts up to a dozen donuts, I believe. By placing the donuts in on the board in a certain order of what your card is showing that you just drew. So you have the tiles that you're laying down that have to match what the card shows. Once the cards match what the tiles are, then you lay your box over those particular tiles, and that's considered boxing up your donuts, and then you get points for those. I really like this game. You have to have a donut while you eat it.
This is a fun one. You have multiple ways you're scoring. When you place your tiles down, you are using a shared space once again, kind of like Carcassonne. When you place the donuts down, the donut square down, tile down, you score for matching donuts. But then when you box them up, like Stacey said, you have to box up donuts that you have cards for, and there's some extra scoring on those. So like if you have coffee, if you have 2 donut cards that have coffee on them, you get points. If you have 3, you get more points. And then there's some with sprinkles. So if you have boxed up a donut with sprinkles, you get the extra points. Yeah, this is a really fun one. It's another nice cozy one. This was on the wall as well because, I mean, in the winter and when you cozy, I mean, what's more cozy than just, chowing down on a donut? All right, that is Donut Shop, a really fun tile drafting game.
Donuts are one of my favorite 4 food groups.
The other thing I like about this one, is when you get your new card, at the end of every turn, you take a new card and new tile. One is face up, and you have to take one face up and one face down, and you have to take the face up one first. So you could take up a face up card, but then you got to take a face down tile, or a face up tile, but then you have to take a face down card. So I really like that whole idea of you're taking one of each, but one is face up and one is face down. That is Donut Shop. Next one is FinSpan. This is the latest span game from Stonemaier Games, where you are marine biologist and you're exploring. I guess you're a marine biologist. You're exploring these seas. Hey Todd, thanks for joining again. You are exploring the seas. You are diving down, and you are trying to earn the most points. And you have 3 different areas you're diving. On your turn, you can either you choose which area you're going to dive, or you can why can't I think about it? You're diving down, or you are exploring. You're placing a new card in. That was the other part. You can explore. And then I really like this because when you dive down the entire depth in this one, which is much different than Finspan and Wormspan, because in those you only get
you just said Finspan.
Wingspan and Wormspan.
There you go.
I thought that's what I said. Yeah. This is different than Wingspan and Wormspan because you get to go all the way down. So if you can place cards in each section, you get a lot of extra bonuses. This is a much friendlier version than either one of those. Because of that, there's a lot more stuff you can do. It's gotten rid of the resources. Your resources are your cards, but they go into a personal discard pile, which you can get back. So Finspan is a really good addition to the Span games. And this was the first one that Stacey has played as well.
I like this game. The thing I like about Finspan is that you have your cards that you're choosing from, and then when you discard them, like you said, you can earn those cards back. But I like the fact that, and this is kind of morbid, but the fact that the big fishies can eat the little fishies. It's just like an ecosystem, just like, real life in the ocean. And then you can stack them on top of each other, and then you get points for what is stacked on top, from little fish up to big fish, because the, different size fish eat the other fish. So it's just like being in the ocean.
Yeah. To me, that makes more sense than a similar thing in Wingspan and Wormspan, where you can just tuck cards. And you're tucking the card that's smaller, which, I mean, I guess the bigger birds can attack the smaller birds and stuff. But this one, you're actually you're putting the bigger ones on top of the smaller ones. And I really like that. Yeah, I love this. I thought this game was great. It's definitely a lighter version of them. I think this is a more family-friendly version. You get rid of a lot of the things like the resources that you're trying to get for, because your cards are your resources. It gives you some good starter stuff. So yeah, that is Finspan by Stonemaier. That was a big hit for us. Next is Food Truck Race. This one we're not going to talk about too much because we barely got it to the table in February. This is a game that is coming to Kickstarter in May. And so we did have a preview copy. We played it very briefly this week. Just a few rounds to get the understanding, because it was at night and it was a little bit later, but we wanted to get the understanding of how to play a few rounds. We did play it this weekend, but that was in March. But in February, we did not play it a whole lot. Basically, you are running a food truck and you are trying to collect your food. You're trying to collect the food you can make, upgrade your food trucks, make your food, serve some tickets, some customer tickets, and first person to 50 points declares the end of the game.
$50.
$50. And so, like I said, we didn't play a full game of it in February. We played a few rounds. But yeah, I thought this one was really good. I'm excited to see this one when it
Hmm.
comes to Kickstarter. It was fun to get the full game as well played over the weekend.
It's a real time. So you're both, is that what it's called?
Yeah, real time.
When you're both working on your own trucks at the same time. So you roll the dice and then you're doing your things to do on your truck and serving and grocery shopping and
Hmm.
all that good stuff. So I really enjoyed this game. I liked it a lot, and I'm excited to see what it's going to bring to Kickstarter as well. This might be my second game I back on Kickstarter.
All right.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, look at me.
Yeah, so like they said, real time. It's really good. So you roll the dice and both people do the first two steps at the same time. And it's also kind of a, do I want to do it quick or do I want to wait for
Mm-hmm.
them to do it? And then the cool thing is steps 3 and 4 are only when you roll the dice. So it gives you a little bit of extra stuff you can do, like upgrading and shopping and stuff. So yeah, food truck race. This one comes to we will have an initial impressions for this one next Monday. I'm trying to get our initial impressions up on Mondays. So we don't do too many every week, even if we played them before that. So just this one will be coming on Monday. Next one, for sale. This is kind of a classic bidding and bluffing game that I have at my board game club, and it's been one that I've been wanting to learn. I've seen it mentioned on a lot of uh, board game YouTube channels, and I just never got it to the table until recently. And finally, a couple weeks ago, I was like, okay, I really want to learn this. I looked up a video, and I'm like, oh, that's all? That's what it is? It's like really quick, that's it? And I taught it to two different groups of kids, including one who is one that kind of refuses to play another games, and he was very reluctant to come over and actually play it. I'm like, come and sit down and learn another game. And he absolutely loved it. We played it twice. First time was just so everybody kind of understood the mechanics of it. Basically, what you're doing is you're playing this game over two phases. In the first phase, you have money that you are bidding on different real estate spots. Everything from 1 to 30. They're numbered 1 to 30. Which you are going to use in the second round. So what happens is whoever turn it is, they bid. The next person, if they want to bid, they have to bid higher. You have to always bid at least 1,000 higher because that's what the increments are. And then when you want to pass, you take the lowest card that's available. If you have a bid out there, you get only half of your bid back rounded down. So if you bid 5,000 and then you end up passing when it comes back around because it's getting too high for you, you get 2,000 back. Everybody starts with the same amount of money. Depending on how many players there are, you play until you go through all the cards. So if there's 5 or 6, you do use all 30 cards. So if there's 5 players, you have 6 rounds. If there's 6 players, you have 5 rounds. You deal out 1 card for each player. If there's 4 players, you take out 2 cards randomly. So there's only 28. So everybody ends up with the same number of cards. Once you're done purchasing, then what you are going to do is you are going to sell. So then there's a second deck of cards that are money cards that are valued 0 through 15,000. There's 2 of each, except for there's no 1,000s. And what you're doing is then you are real-time bidding, where you take which card, you deal out. So like for 6 people, you deal out 6 value cards, and then each person chooses a card from their hand of real estate that they got. And what they do is they're going to put it face down and everybody reveals at the same time. So instead of a bidding going around in a circle, this is everybody's bidding now at the same time. And whoever has the highest card gets the highest point value or the highest money value. And it goes all the way around. So it's this really interesting dynamic of, you know what? In the first phase, I'm okay getting a couple low cards and saving my money until I see some really high cards in there. Or if some people are bidding really high early, like I'm okay. I know there's some other high cards that I can use later, and I can get some low ones to throw away. And so this was a really fun game. It was very quick to learn. When I taught it, we played it. Like I said, I taught it to 2 different groups last week, on both Tuesday and Thursday last week. We played it once to learn it so the kids could learn kind of like understand the 2 phases of the game. Then we played it a second time where they actually kind of understood what they were doing a little bit better. And the second time, definitely they understood the strategy a little bit better. And then most of them played a third time without me because I was kind of getting some stuff done. So that is for sale. Next one is Green Team Wins. Another one I played on Global Play Day. Some kids wanted to play it, and I played 1 round with them, and then Somebody else wanted to come in, and so in green team wins, green team wins. That's what it's called. So in green team wins, everybody starts on the orange team. You have three different types of cards. You have this or that cards. You have question cards that have an A, B, C, or answer, and then you have a set of cards that have a fill in the blank. You flip one over. Everybody answers on their whiteboard. Everybody whoever has the majority, whatever the majority answer is, those people win. They're on the green team. Hence, green team wins. So this is interesting because you're not answering what you think the answer is to questions. You're answering what you think the majority of people are going to answer. If you are in the minority, you go back down to orange. If you move from orange to green, you get 1 point. If you're on green and you stay green, you get 2 points. If you're on green and it's like a tie, if you're playing with 6 people and the answers are 3 and 3, you stay on green and you get the points. The people on orange stay on orange and they don't get points. So it's a lot of fun. It's a really fun party game. I love playing this with the kids because you're trying to think, okay, what are these kids gonna think? So that is green team wins. Help your neighbor.
When you look at me like that,
You want to play? You want to talk about it?
I'll talk about help your neighbor. So help your neighbor, you have cards 1 through 8. No, 1 through 10. Through 12.
1 through 12. 1 through 6 and 8 through 12.
See, this is why I don't talk about games. Yes, and
2 through 6. There is no 1 because you got to roll 2 dice.
That's right.
2 through 6 and 8 through 12.
So you roll your dice and then if you don't have, so you roll your dice, you have your cards all flipped with the numbers facing up. And when you roll your dice, you turn over that card and you keep doing that.
The sum of the dice.
The sum of yes. So you re-roll, flip your card, re-roll, flip your card. So it's press your luck. If someone else has that number and you don't, then you're helping your neighbor. They get to flip that number. They now get to roll and then continue on and on until one person has all of their cards face down.
Yeah, it's a fun one. The kids wanted to play this, and the kids have played this quite a bit at Board Game Club. I played it on Global Play Day with a couple different. I taught it to a couple different groups. Yeah, roll the dice, add it together, you flip your card over. That's it. If your card's already flipped, goes to the next person. This game really shines at higher player counts though, because you're starting to see which cards people have flipped over when you have to flip one back. Because if you flip one, if you roll a 7, you've got to flip one of yours back over to the number side. So you're starting to look like, okay, I got to flip one over. Well, let's see. They've all got the 6 face down. So if any of them roll a 6, it's going to come back to me. So I'm going to flip the 6 over because I know it's going to come all the way back around to me. And it is just because you're quick and you have a lot of stuff flipped over early does not mean you're going to win. In fact, most times those people don't end up winning. And you can win on somebody else's roll. So that's a lot of fun as well. If you can get the 2 and the 12 early, and even the 3 and 11, it's almost guaranteed you're going to win because those are the hardest ones to get. But yeah, help your neighbor. Just a quick, fun.
It can be quick, but depending on how many times you have to flip back and forth,
yeah,
it can drag on.
Late it could go on. We have a quick short on the channel about this one as well. Story.
You are an author and you are trying to write chapters in your book about amazing women in world history, not just American or Canadian, but world history. You are gaining resources to earn cards that you can either reserve on your board or you can place directly into your chapter. And then when you do so, you earn certain powers. And then when you collect 5, is it 5 chapters?
8 chapters.
Oh, see? When you collect 8 chapters, whoever gets there, then that triggers the end game. And then you add up your cards and your bonuses that you collected, and then you see who the winner is.
This is another one that was on our wall because sometimes you just want to curl up with a good book. And we do have a playthrough of this because it is Women's History Month.
Yes, it is.
So Wednesday, we have a playthrough posting on the channel. So we did a playthrough of this for Women's History Month. And so on Wednesday, there will be a full playthrough of this that we filmed last week sometime. That will be posted So yeah, that is her story.
I won't give up who won.
I don't remember, honestly. It seems like so long ago.
I don't think it was me. I don't remember.
I don't remember. I do remember it was close.
Yeah.
I do remember it was close, but yeah. So we do have a video of this one coming.
Yeah, I won't give it up because I don't remember.
I honestly I don't remember. It seems like so long ago. It was like probably a week and a half ago. Not even. So that is her story. All right. The next game is Junk Drawer. Another one that was on our wall because sometimes you know on those cold, crummy days when you're stuck inside, sometimes you got to be responsible and you just want to organize your junk drawer.
Got to adult once in a while.
Yeah. So junk drawer is a simultaneous tile laying game where you have different polyomino shaped pieces of junk that would go in a junk drawer. There are 4 quadrants in your junk drawer. Each one scores differently based on the cards you draw. Then you take 4 cards each round and you're going to place them face down, which are the pieces of junk that you're going to place. The thing I really like about this game is when you place a piece of junk, every round you have to place it in a different quadrant. So every round you are going to end up with 1 new piece in every quadrant. So you may have a piece, okay, I think this is really good for the red quadrant. And then later on you're like, oh, that would be much better in the red quadrant, but I've already placed one that round, so I have to put it somewhere else. It is not good for the ones I have left. A lot of times you end up with that 4th card and it is not good for the quadrant you have left and you just have to make it work. So junk drawer is great. And then at the end of the round, you get rid of those cards. You do 4 more face down. And once again, you can only place 1 piece of junk in each spot. Did we do a playthrough? We did do a playthrough. We did so. 2. We did 2 or 3. The thing
I like about junk drawer is that you have the cards that you're trying to match what those quadrants could be. So some you're wanting to hit the middle spots or not hit the middle spots or the border spots that you want to cover or keep uncovered. So that plays into how you're trying to place your weird pieces into one of these boards. And then it has different levels. So you can start with the easy level and work your way up to the harder levels. Once you get to the harder levels, they tend to go a little bit faster because you play fewer tiles because the cards that you're trying to fill are more difficult to do. So I do like junk drawer. That's a fun game.
There's 8 scoring. There's 8 easy, 8 medium, and 8 hard scoring cards. So lots of combinations. We did play this live because we did play 3 games through pretty quick. Right. Even though we started late that day, we played really, really quick. And because in the hard, I rushed the finish. I'm like, okay, I want to see what I can do here. And yeah, like Stacey said, sometimes it'll be like, oh, you want open spaces. Sometimes it's a single open space. Sometimes it's this, that. And so you're trying to see like how quickly do I want to actually like finish this so I can score some of these other cards. Because some of them you want to fill a lot, but some of you don't want to fill at all. So the longer you go, things kind of work. So I really like trying to figure out not only the puzzle of where I'm putting the pieces, but the puzzle of, okay, which cards am I going to score the most, and which ones am I just going to say, I'm not going to score on that one. Let's move on. So that is a good one. So we do have a live playthrough of this as well on channel. We had a lot of coverage of the games we played last month.
Let's go. Goodness.
All right. Next game is Mindspace. This is one I've been kind of in a solo gaming funk since the new year. I don't know why. I just have not felt like getting games to the table solo, and when I try to, it just doesn't get done. And so last week I kind of finally got out of that, and I also wanted to learn Mindspace. And Mindspace is a roll and write where you're rolling different dice and then you're placing above different cards that have polyomino shapes on them. The dice roll is simply to say what the dice are different colors, and you place them, all the ones over 1, 2, 3, whatever numbers you roll, you place them over that card. And then that card, you can use those cards to draw that shape on your little brain. And you're trying to do some different scoring. And at the end of the round, you slide all the cards down, flip one over, and then flip a new one up. You roll the dice again, the same thing. So you are not going to be able to use every card each round. Sometimes you need certain colors, and when you draw it, you have to draw it in the color of the dice. I agree, Todd. It was a blast to learn. I'm excited to play it a bit more.
Does this play at 2 people?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The cool thing is, like I said, you are not going to be able to use all the polyomino shapes every round because you can only use the ones that there's dice above them, and you have to draw them in that color. So sometimes I believe, if I remember correctly, sometimes you can't have certain colors next to each other. So you're like, oh, I can't even use that one because I can only place it next to each other. Because when you place them, you have to connect your polyominoes next to each other. So it is a lot of fun. It is one that I really had a lot of fun learning, and I can't wait to play it again. That is Mindspace. Next one is a nice cuppa. This is another one that I played last week to kind of get out of my solo gaming funk. And this is a button shy game, 18 card game. You are trying to make the perfect cup of tea, but just like with anything, your daily routine and your daily worries kind of come into play. So you are flipping over the worry cards, I think is what they were called, and it tells you how to move and what to move on your order of tea. So you have to get your tea in order from 1 to 7, from choosing the tea to steeping it to drinking it, but they don't start in order, and you have to play through until you have flipped over all of your worry cards. And when you flip over your worry cards, you do certain things. So if you have more than one, you have to go left to right, and you have to do everything with it. So it's this nice puzzle of, okay, which T cards can I move in what order, because I know I'm going to do this next. And if your T card is face up, you get to get rid of that worry card. So it's one less thing you have to do every round. If it's face down, so it's the relaxed and stressed sides. If it's in the stressed side, you keep it for the next round. So it's this nice little puzzle. I really enjoyed it. I did do an initial impressions for this, and I played it live with some other ones, and I did a ranking, and this game out of my 13 button shies shot way up my list already because I really enjoyed this one. This is a nice cuppa. My next game is Rolling Realms. I got this at the table twice because Jamie from Stonemeyer Games did 2 live streams in February. Rolling Realms, another roll and write. You're rolling dice, placing the numbers on 3 different realms that represent different games, and those games you're trying to earn coins, pumpkins, and hearts. The pumpkins allow you to manipulate numbers. Hearts allow you to copy numbers. Coins allow you to make new numbers. You're just trying to earn the most stars overall. Each realm, you score stars in a different way. And yeah, this is one of my favorite games. I've done a lot of stuff for this. You can see all of the rolling through the realms coverage I've done. I've done individual realm tutorials for every single realm that has been released. I think it's up to 62 now. That includes all of the base game realms and all of Redux realms. Next one, Royal Limited, a game where you are placing train cards out, multi-use cards, using train cards to either place it as a train car or as a passenger, placing VIP passengers into your train. You're trying to basically lay your cards out and use the abilities to get 7 cars and 7 passengers in your train. Another one that was new to me. I did initial impressions for this one. This was another button shy, another one I enjoyed as well. And next is Shelfie Stacker. I'll let you talk about this. I gotta get some water.
Oh no. Oh dear. Okay, Shelfie Stacker, you are an unorganized gamer, and your games need to be organized in your closet. And so you are using, you have cards, and each card has a number on it. And the higher the number dictates who goes first, who goes second, etc., etc. And you are using those cards to kind of use them as powers to earn the dice to place into your shelves. Um, you have cards going across the top that kind of tell you what order you can do it in, and then those are worth extra points if you fulfill those. Depending on how high you get your boxes on a shelf, how many points you get. They have to be in numeric order, they have to be color order in each row. So kind of challenging that way. And then at the beginning of the game, you pick which cards you want to use. I think there's 20.
There's 16 total,
16.
and you choose 8 of them.
Yeah, so you choose which gamer you're going to be using, and each person has their own powers and lets you stack some dice or lets you move a dice to put another dice in its place, lets you reuse a card from your discard pile. So there's all different kinds of things that your cards will allow you to do. Let's see, when all of the dice are used, that's what triggers the end game.
7 rounds. So there'll be a few dice that aren't, but yeah, 7 rounds.
Yeah. And I don't do very well at this one, do I? I don't know.
I think we're about 50-50 on this one.
I think so. I like this game. My spatial awareness for things isn't very good. So I try my best. It's fun.
It's a fun game. It's a fun game.
I think for a gamer, it's just a nice, cozy, relaxing game per se. So yeah, I like it.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is a fun one. Todd, I've actually thought about maybe doing a monthly Rolling Realms live stream, so that might have to be something I might start up. But yeah, so be on the lookout for that. And I'm gonna check something. I think I may have double clicked here and skipped a game. No,
Are they in alphabetical order?
They should be. And I think something didn't end up on here, or I numbered it wrong. Oh, that's on there twice.
Oopsies.
Oh, what happened there?
I don't know.
Oh. Whoa. Something ended up really crazy there, because those ended up on the thing more than once. So if it doesn't come up, I'm going to have to talk about one of the... Oh, yeah, there's way too many slides on this. So there's some goofy stuff on our slides. I don't know what happened. I think I didn't...
You rushed.
Something happened. I don't know. This one is Tetra Tower. Really quick. I actually bought this for Stacey a couple years ago for Christmas, just kind of as a stocking stuffer. But a kid had it at school for Global Play Day. You have this little teeter-totter type thing that's curved, and you're placing different 3D polyomino things on it that you draw a card and says which one to place, and then you're just trying not to knock it over. So yeah, that's Tetra Tower.
Fun game. I like it. I like those kinds of games, though.
I'm not sure what happened with the slides here. I thought I didn't. Okay, Tussie Mussy is another one that I played live last week. This is another button shot game. You are a florist and you're trying to make the perfect floral combinations between your bouquets and your keepsakes. Each round you are drafting 4 different cards. I played this one solo. So what happens is the solo deck tells you what to place, either face up and face down, and then you get to draft things depending on what it says, like either they both stay or you get them both face up or whatever, and you are trying to collect them so that you have different powers. So some of them will say you score for every red or for every different color or for every heart you have or something. So you're trying to score based on what each flower says. You also get points for the hearts on them. It's just trying to get the highest score. That is Tussie Mussy. That is a fun one. Did that not change? Okay, I don't know what happened here.
Uh-oh.
Okay, yeah, we got something goofy going on in our slideshow. I don't know what happened. This is Underleaf. This is another one that we played very briefly last week, because this should be the last game, and we got 5 more slides, so I'm not sure what's coming up next. I don't know what happened to the slides. I thought I fixed it, but maybe I didn't delete enough. So this is Underleaf. This is one that is coming to Backer Kit on the 13th. The link to this one is also in the description of the video, and our initial impressions for this one posted today. This morning. Underleaf is a game where you are exploring the wilderness and what's underneath the leaves. You're looking to set collect, and I know you like this one.
I do like this one. This one, I don't do very well at this one either because it takes a little bit of planning. But basically, you just have a card of decks. You have a deck of cards and a dice, and that's basically the game.
And some pebble tokens.
Which are your currency. And you are just trying to buy leaves, beetles, mushrooms. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Flowers. No.
Mushrooms, beetles,
and berries.
And then frogs.
And frogs are wild. So you're trying to buy matches of those, there's 2 of each except for the frogs, which I think there's one of like 3 different frogs, I believe.
Yeah,
Um,
3 or
and
4.
then you've got some cards with some powers on them
Some
that you
event
have
card,
to
yep, some
purchase
event
as
cards.
well. It goes quickly. You just, you roll the dice, whatever it lands on. It's an 8-sided dice, numbered 1 through 4. Whatever number it rolls on, you turn that many cards over, and then you use your stones to purchase the pairs. If there's multiples of berries, you have to purchase all of them at once. So
Yeah.
then you can sell them to earn your stones back. So
Hey
I do.
Jeff, thanks for stopping in.
Hi, Jeff. And so I do like Underleaf. I love the artwork on this one, but
Yeah.
we check out
Yeah.
our initial impression. We won't go into that one too much, but
Yeah,
I
so
really
basically,
like
yeah,
that.
like they said, you have a deck of cards, you roll a dice, you flip that many over. If you're buying from the leaf pile, you have to buy everything of a certain type. Um, you can sell then if you have 2 of a type, you can sell for 5 stones back. And then you can buy from the discard pile or from the sell pile. Those cost 2 each, but you can buy whatever combo you want. So if there's 3 berries, 2 mushrooms, a frog, and you could buy 1 mushroom and 1 berry if you wanted to. They cost 2 each. So yeah, this one's a quick, very fun game. It's 2-player only, so it's perfect for
Mm-hmm.
us. We do have a prototype copy of it, and we absolutely love the artwork in it, and we're excited to see what this might bring. Like I said, you can follow the link in the description to follow the backer kit for this. I believe on the 13th this one
I think
launches.
so.
And now I'm not sure what games are going to come up next because we have 5 slides left and some things got goofed up here. Oh, looks like Underleaf for some reason was on there twice. Oh,
Excellent.
Unsurmountable. Okay, so Unsurmountable. Okay, so we do. Okay, Unsurmountable is another button shy game that I played live last week. In Unsurmountable, you are trying to make your way up a mountain. You're trying to build a mountain that is 4 cards, 3, 2, 1, and you have to make a single path from the bottom to the top. And when that happens, you can only use your leftmost card in your base camp. Your other 4 cards can be used for their abilities, but once you use their abilities, they're gone. So you got to be careful not to use too many, or you may not have enough cards. Really quick, fun game. I did this one in my Button Shy live playthrough. Oh, and Unsurmountable's on there twice. I don't know what happened. What do you mean, Family Edition? We do own this one. I played this one on Global Playday as well. Some kids had it, so we had a lot of fun. Basically, what you do is each person gets a set of cards that describe a meme, and then every round you put a meme, like you see the dog there, up on the stand, and everybody says which card they think is the best, and then whoever the judges is that round says which one they like the most, and whoever has the most points wins.
And we did adapt this one for 2 people.
Yeah, we play this one at 2, really, so there's no judge. We just decide who has the better thing. Sometimes we argue over whose is better, but usually we're like, okay, yeah, that one's pretty good. So, and that is on there twice as well. So there was a game missing, and I did play Rove, which is a button shy game where you have 6 modules that you can move in certain ways, and you're trying to move them to configure them in certain configurations so you can match what the rover wants. And then you're trying to get 7 in a row. So that is Rove by Button Shy. So there was our February month in review. Let us know in the comments what games of these that you've played, and
If you have any questions or you think we said something wrong, let us know too, so we can make a correction.
yep. And we kind of talked about 3 upcoming games: Companion Quest, Underleaf, and Food Truck Race. Do any of those sound interesting to you? And are you excited about those ones? Check those ones out. Like
We have playthroughs of those coming, don't we?
We have
or just initial impressions.
We have initial impressions for Companion Quest up. The playthrough is up. The initial impressions for Underleaf is up. The initial impressions for Food Truck Race will come up next week. The playthrough I've got to edit, and that will come up in a little while, but we've got a little time because that won't be for a few weeks, or that won't be for a couple months. That doesn't launch until May.
End of spring.
So yeah, we do have content for all these either posted or coming. And there is links, like I said, to the Companion Quest and the Underleaf in the in the description of the video. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. We just love talking about the games we play, and we love playing games. So once again, this has been Where There's Wills.
There's a play.
I'm Ian.
I'm Stacey.
And we'll see you next time.
At the table. Thanks for joining us.